This rivalry has been brewing for a long time, and it spills over tonight at the CompuBox Academy. I'm Todd Grisha. Next to me, of course, is Johnny.
Oh, the fighters, this is just one of those things.
Time for our tale of the tape. There can only be one, Lomachenko, weighing in at Vasily the Matrix Lomachenko, Ukraine's El Nido de Oro, fighting out of Venezuela and Japan. He won his first world title back in 2007 and hasn't looked back since.
They have waited for this fight for so long, John. This is ridiculous.
This bout is scheduled for 8 rounds of boxing. In the red corner, presenting the two-time Olympic gold medalist from Ukraine, a tremendous 3-division champion of the world, Vasily Lomachenko. Fighting out of the blue corner, from Barinas, Venezuela, a renowned 3-division champion of the world, Jorge Linares.
A lot of trash talk between these two fighters. Now it's time to put up or shut up.
You can't beat a good old-fashioned rivalry. When there's guts, when there's feeling, when there's heart involved, that's when you get a good fight, one-on-one.
What a great venue, and what a great matchup. Cannot wait for this one. And we're off and running between these two really accomplished fighters. Let's see how they come out. Nice right hook. These two fighters are made for one another. Lomachenko versus Linares, Part 2. Their first fight was electrifying as Linares dropped Lomachenko, who then got off the canvas and stopped Jorge in round 10.
Lomachenko, they thought this guy could be a world champion in his second professional fight. They put him for a world title. In his second professional fight, he lost, but he only lost because of lack of professional experience. From then, he's gone from strength to strength. Linares, this guy is so slick. This guy's had it all. This is why the first fight between these two was technically brilliant. Lomachenko was too smart, too sharp, had everything going for him, and he showed his skill. And that's why this fight, in the 10th round, he had the job done. I think these two fighters will again put on an amazing performance. I think it's one of those fights, again, that you cannot put your house on. I think it's one of those fights where you will see and learn so much about the true art of boxing.
Perfect counter lands. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. Through the hook, didn't land. Misses with the straight left.
Done, you're thirsty, you're sweating, and you're getting you're on the wrong side of a beating. This can be hellfire on you.
Catch and shoot. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Talk about Loma in that last round. At this point, you got to believe he can't win on the scorecards. Going to need a knockout.
You know, I've been in fights like that. When you're thinking, come on, bro, ring away.
On to the second round. Not the start that they wanted, but let's see what they can do in this round.
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
Neither one of these fighters want to see the judges' scorecards. They have no respect for each other's punching power. Only catching air with that hook. This fighter embodies the cardinal rule of boxing. Hit and don't get hit.
Do not give an outside fighter time to think. You've got to make the fighter panic. You've got to rush the fighter into doing things they don't normally do.
Nice counter punch right up the middle. A lot of effort being exerted here. Can they figure out the combination to this sink?
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
Just missed with that hook. Sometimes when you're fighting a counter fighter, the rounds can get a little boring. You get trigger shy because you know if you throw a punch, one is coming right back at you.
Counter punch is my favorite kind of fighter. A good counter puncher, they're the people that make the history of our sport.
There's a counter shot. When are we going to see a jab from these two? Those counter punches have to hurt. Punch, counter punch. That big hook doesn't land. They got out of the way of that right hook. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Talk about Loma in that last round. Well, he is in big trouble here. He may have been saved by the bell.
Needs a knockout without a doubt. Needs to go out there and think, right, you know what, next round, you're getting it.
Good round. Feel good? Good, man.
There's the bell to start round 3. Let's see how they bounce back here in this round.
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on you. And that's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
Both want a knockout, you can tell. Good counter punching. The straight right just misses. Hey, it's the featherweight division. You're going to see a lot of speed in this fight.
How do you deal with an aggressive fighter? What you do is you fight fire with.
And Jorge Linares is down. Blink and you miss it. Good thing we can watch that all over again.
That's lights out right there.
Back into the fray again, but how much do they have left?
The corner needs to think nice and sharp. They know their fight. They know what their fight's capable of doing and what their fight can and cannot take. This is going to be a tough decision to make.
Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Linares is in some serious trouble. And it appears they're out of trouble, at least for now. But that just goes to show you one clean punch changes everything.
It's been a tough round so far. It's been a tough round. What do they do? What do they tell him when he goes back to the corner? How are they going to get through this?
Nice counter shot. That counter shot lands. You can tell who's stronger and who's faster. That counter punch caught him clean. Incredible work rate. Well done with that counter shot. Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. Talk about Linares in that last round. What a huge momentum swing that's going to be, considering that round will be 10-8 after the knockdown.
I love the response, though. Got back up, took a deep breath and thought, right, brush it off, get on with it.
Get your breath back. You're getting your time in already.
There's the bell to start round 4. He got knocked down in the last round. Let's see what he can do here.
What a heavy knockdown. How are they going to come back from that? They staggered back to the corner. They've got to freshen them up, alert them again, get them back on point again. This round, they've got to coast around. Don't get involved. Give yourself another 3 minutes to get your head clear.
That jab doesn't find a home. Beautiful counter shot. Well, you know with featherweights, the hands are going to be flying. A lot of punch output.
What you've got to do, Tony, is anticipation. You've got to wait. You just got to throw caution to the wind and just hope. You're never going to know where the shots are coming from. You just got to put in a guess.
Swing and a miss with that hook. Going to punch himself out, though. Swing and a miss with the hook. They exchanged punches. Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. Back and forth they go. Neither fighter willing to back down.
Perfectly matched. Skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
This fighter's certainly not going to outthrow their opponent by any means, but they will, when they hit, be a lot harder.
They know the second they touch you, it's done. They're that powerful.
A perfect counter shot. Defense is not an option for these two. Good counter punch. They need to be careful they don't punch themselves out here. Through the straight left, but it won't score. A punch and just got countered. Deciding to let it all hang out here in this round. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Talk about Linares in that last round. Stamina is always an issue in a prize fight.
There's a lot on the line here.
Go out there and win this round. You had everything in the back.
Here we go in round 5. Who's going to land the first big shot? They really seemed to exhaust themselves last round. Let's see what they have left.
An amazing pace and tempo set in the last round. Can you keep this up? Me personally, I don't think that's possible. And if they can, their training, their conditioning would have been ridiculous, like they're in the army. But these guys, if they can keep up this pace, we are in for a great night.
Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming.
About what?
And he scores with the counter. And he misses with that straight left. Nice counter. Which fighter will say no mas? Both men step back for just a moment. Nice exchanges from both men in this round.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
How nervous would you get when you know you're facing a big puncher like this that can seriously hurt you?
That power might be the do or die. That power might be the equalizer.
How about that time counter shot? No rest for the weary. Beautiful counter punch. It's all offense all the time. Misses with the straight left. Nice counter punch. That hook was off target. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Linares in that last round. Now you start wondering how much work these two fighters did in the gym.
You cannot guess that. If you prepared right, slept right, ate right, and did everything right for this fight.
Good round. I like that. I'm happy.
On to the sixth round. Fatigue is setting in. Let's see how they handle it here in this round.
Exerted a lot of energy in the fight so far. Now they're shattered. This is what you call championship rounds. If you have done the work, slept right, ate right, prepped right, I'm expecting you to get through this. If not, if you've cheated, the ring can be the loneliest place in the world.
Punch, counter punch. Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. Nice counter. There's no way this fighter can go punch for punch. Their resistance to these blows just isn't the same.
Don't get trigger happy, because all of a sudden you're going to be gassing yourself down trying to get that shot, and that's when he catches.
The only fear you have with this fighter is, has he punched himself out? And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. We wanted action, and they are giving us action. Good counter punch. Both of these fighters have had their moments.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
There's a counter shot. What do you think of this fight so far, Johnny?
Sometimes when you get in there with someone that's so powerful, you've got to think them. You've just got to be smarter than them. You've got to be like a little favourite and pickpocket them.
His stamina stamina is off the charts. He threw a punch and just got countered. Punch, counter punch. The perfect counter lands. That one lands. They've got to use their jab better in this fight. The perfect counter lands. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Linares in that last round. How much cardio was put in for this fight? It may come down to that.
This is when you talk about championship material.
Set. Forget about that round. It was a
Great round, great round. Now relax.
Here we go. It's round 7. That 1-minute break surely wasn't enough for him to completely recover.
What were they doing that now? Are they trying to get an early light? That's a lot of energy. They're going to be absolutely shattered.
What do you think of what we've seen so far from these two boxers, Johnny?
I've seen certain fighters that can depend on just their power alone. Forget tactics. They know the second they touch you, it's done. That's where the confidence comes from.
Good counter punch. You can see the heavy breathing, but that's not slowing him down. Might want to think of holding on here for a minute. Catch and shoot. The straight right just misses. Nice counter punch right up the middle. He threw a punch and just got countered. These two featherweights are going to let their hands go, you know that.
Todd, look back in history. Sugar Ray Leonard against Roberto Duran. The first fight, Sugar Ray Leonard tried to fight, stand there toe-to-toe with him. The second fight, he thought, this guy's aggressive. He's nasty. He'll do everything to get the win. I've got to box him. I've got to frustrate him. I've got to humiliate him and show him how good a boxer I am. That's the only way you beat an aggressive fighter. Show him your boxing skills. Step out of the way. Don't fight fire with fire. Use brain over brawn.
Halfway through the round, and man, these two are going at it.
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
Misses with the straight left. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. The straight right just misses. And as we watch it again, that punch took the wind out of him and the will to continue.
Even I've got to see that again. Where did that come from?
About that will to win and refusal to stay down as this fight continues.
What resilience to be down and to be back up again, to get yourself back into fight again, to show
total domination with 10 seconds to go. Uh-oh, Lomachenko just got rocked. Let's talk about Loma in that last round. Well, this is a very important break here for this fighter. They've been knocked down twice. The corner might be thinking about stopping it here.
there's always a way back. Don't ever run anybody off.
Happy I like that round. Good work. You would think.
Round 8, and we're off again. done with that counter shot. Fantastic punch. How about that time counter shot? Nice stop, but that won't score. We've seen in the past from this fighter, they don't get concerned when they lose some of the earlier rounds because they know they've got that power that can strike at any moment.
It's the one who draws first blood, Todd. That's what you've got to look at. If you're there and you know you're in there with a banger, you've got to be on it, but you've got to...
Whoa, Johnny, take a look at this action. Lomachenko in trouble. Lomachenko goes down. A good body shot will paralyze you, and as you can see here, that's exactly what happened.
I need to see... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
They got knocked down, but didn't stay down. Once again, showing you how much grit and courage this fighter has.
Todd, he's up. I'll be surprised if he makes it back to the corner. And if he does, will he get back up on the stool again? That was a shot.
It's a good start to the round for this guy.
The corners must be so happy. Down to a T, play the plan out to a T. If they can pick up momentum and do this over and over and over again, they've got it.
Is he going to punch himself out, though? A perfect counter lands. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. This fighter expending a lot of energy in this round. There's a counter shot. And he wasn't ready for that count. Lomachenko is buzzed. And it appears the onslaught is over, at least for now.
Got caught sleeping on the job. What do? You step back, steady yourself, recompose yourself, then boom, back into it. But do not make those mistakes. This is the wrong place to fall asleep.
Final 10 seconds here, unless we get some late drama. I think we all know who won this round. Some might have thought the fight a little bit closer, but the judges are in agreement. A unanimous decision win.
What a whitewash. You know, that's skills, that's class, that's levels. One is up there, one is down there, but you know what? The loser is going to have to learn a big, hard lesson. I totally agree.